Okay, I'm back and we're going to try another setup here. A buddy of mine who wanted to come up with an idea of seeing if we can get like different colored striations in these rocks. So what we've done is we've taken latex paint. This one's yellow, and just poured it in the bottom. And then on this one we actually did a darker red. And then I made the mix really thick. I mean, this sucker is like peanut butter almost, just so that see if the paints won't bleed too bad as it takes to dry. And what we're going to do here is pour this last one in, let them dry, and then see what it turns out. And if it actually works and kind of bleeds in and gives us different colors, then it'll just be another little technique of making different colored rocks. Instead of trying to paint it on the surface, you can actually embed it in the pouring process and save yourself a little time. Be back after I pour this one. Okay, after those molds have dried, we popped out the plaster from it, and as you can see, it was a utter failure. This was all just sitting on the surface, and then they just even tried to wipe it. You know, it's a little more bonded, so it's not exactly painted on, but it's not really acting as swirls and stuff. This just almost looks like a bloody mess. So I mean, yeah, it's probably usable, but then you're going to have to spend a lot more time painting to get the details out of it. The idea was to make it as part of the molding process as much as possible. So we then tried it with just different color sets to see what we can get almost from a marbling effect. Again, this just sat on top and really didn't, bleed into it to give it that marble effect. What I think we're going to have to do is when we pour it, still put some of the paint down in here, but then take a toothpick and grab a toothpick from here, and then when we're in the mold, actually when it's upside down, actually pull it in there and stretch everything out so that it actually does pull it into the material. I just don't think there's enough time for the paint and the plaster to actually intermix. I think it starts drying too quickly. Even for as cold as it is that I have out here in the garage, it just doesn't have a time to actually mix. So, and this one was actually done really, really stiff. I mean, this thing was almost like a super thick milkshake. This one was actually done pretty watery, and it's probably not even a really super stable piece. It's still pretty damp, and it's been almost 24 hours, and it's still got a lot of moisture in it. This one's pretty much dried out, but like I said, I think we can do it. You just have to kind of perfect the technique. I guess the real question this comes down to it is how much value is in it, but I think it would work. Maybe not with this much of a contrasting color. We were just trying to get something so it would show real easy. But I think if you're to do this with like a gray, for a base, and then like intersperse like black spots and stuff like that to give it, would probably work. A light brown with, say, like a really dark brown in it to give it more of those streaks and stuff, and give it just that subtle contrast. And then as you wash it, dry brush it, it just gives it that extra little depth to it that otherwise would have to be painted on, that you could do right here in the molding process and potentially save yourself some time and just get some really interesting creative looks for it, and make it pretty repeatable. So hope that helps. Bye.